gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. While there's life, there's hope. The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living. The greater the difficulty, the greater the glory. Friendship makes prosperity brighter, while it lightens adversity by sharing its griefs and anxieties. A room without books is like a body without a soul. The enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend. The safety of the people shall be the highest law. The welfare of the people is the ultimate law. In time of war, the laws are silent. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. True law is right reason in agreement with nature. It is of universal application, unchanging and everlasting. The good of the people is the chief law. What is morally wrong can never be advantageous, even when it enables you to make some gain that you believed to be to your advantage. Endless money forms the sinews of war. Live as brave men, and if fortune is adverse, front its blows with brave hearts. To be rather than to seem. Not to know what happened before you were born is to remain forever a child. Freedom is a possession of inestimable value. While we are postponing, life speeds by. No one can give you better advice than yourself. The countenance is the portrait of the soul, and the eyes mark its intentions. Virtue is a habit of the mind, consistent with nature and moderation and reason. Nature herself has imprinted on the minds of all the idea of God. A nation can survive its fools and even the ambitious, but it cannot survive treason from within. A true friend is one soul into bodies. The shifts of fortune test the reliability of friends. There is nothing so absurd that it has not been said by some philosopher. Freedom suppressed and again regained bites with keener fangs than freedom never endangered. In nothing do men more nearly approach the gods than in giving health to men. The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. In men of the highest character and noblest genius, there is to be found an insatiable desire for honor, command, power, and glory. Advice in old age is foolish, for what can be more absurd than to increase our provisions for the road, the nearer we approach to our journey's end? The more honesty a man has, the less he affects the air of a saint. Justice consists in doing no injury to men, decency in giving them no offense. The greatest pleasures are only narrowly separated from disgust. The face is a picture of the mind, with the eyes as its interpreter. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. The harvest of old age is the recollection and abundance of blessing previously secured. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. In nothing do men more nearly approach the gods than in giving health to men. Nature has planted in our minds an insatiable longing to see the truth. Silence is one of the great arts of conversation. The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living. The greatest pleasures are only narrowly separated from disgust. Silence is one of the great arts of conversation. Time destroys the speculation of men, but it confirms the judgment of nature. Men decide far more problems by hate, love, lust, rage, sorrow, joy, hope, and fear than by reality, authority, any legal standard, judicial precedent, or statute. He only employs his passion who can make no use of his reason. The enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend. True law is right reason in agreement with nature. It is of universal application, unchanging and everlasting. The greatest glory of a free-born people is to transmit that freedom to their children